Welcome back to Epic Ethiopian History with Tewodros. Not even one half of the story has ever been told. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It helps to move the channel forward so we can bring more of this epic Ethiopian history that you love and I love. And I'd love to produce more of this content for you on a daily basis. So the more the channel grows, the more content I can produce, the better content I can bring to the channel, right? So, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. And again, I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for tuning in to listen to another episode of Epic Ethiopian History. If you love these topics that I am covering, just, let me know in the comment section below. And again, sharing and subscribing to the channel does help the channel to grow so we can bring more of this content. I cannot say that enough. Now, forgive me for any mistakes I make. I haven't studied Ge'ez extensively. I have studied for some time, however, I haven't studied it extensively. So, like many scholars out there. So bear with me through any mistakes I made or will make in the future. So let's move forward. Mesafe Enoch, Meraf Kiletu. The Book of Enoch, Chapter 2. By the way, Enoch, if I say Enoch, I mean Enoch, right? In the anglicized version of his name, it's Enoch. Okay, so please don't get confused if I say Enoch. Enoch means Enoch. Okay, so let's begin. وكون إمزبزولود ساب بإمانتو موائل تولد لومو awalde senayate welahiyate. And it came to pass, after the sons of men increased, in those days good and beautiful daughters were born to them. ورئيوا كياهون ملائكة ولود السمايات وفتبوون ويبيلوا ببيناتهم نؤو نهري لنا لأنستائم ولود الساب ونلد لنا ولودا. And the chief messengers, the princes, the sons of Seth, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. Them meaning the women. They saw the women. And they said among themselves, Come, let us choose for ourselves women from the sons of men, and let us beget for ourselves sons. Now I'm going into a short exegesis. Exegesis meaning a brief explanation, okay? Because what's literally written here in the Ge'ez is that the sons of heaven, okay? What's really the wulude samayat, sons of heaven. Melaikt wulude samayat. So it says in the Ge'ez, the princes, the rulers, melaikt, the rulers, right, or chief messengers, the leaders or princes. And it also is translated as angels, depending on the context. Now, according to the teachings of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, the exegesis, the explanation of this text, like I said in the Ge'ez, it's literally saying Melaikt wulude samayat. So it literally says, and the chief messengers, the sons of heaven, right, saw them, right, saw the women. So the sons of Seth, right, is not written in the Ge'ez. However, it is known that these are the sons of Seth, right? When you see the exegesis, the explanation of who these sons of heaven are, they are the sons of Seth. Okay, so it's not something it's not a new. It's not a new. This is not a new teaching. It's known. It is known. However, there's many. Um, most versions of the Book of Enoch, they have angels, which is not incorrect. However, the exegesis gives you the explanation. Who are these angels? What is the meaning of angels? Now, when you go into the Semitic languages like Hebrew, for example, and Ge'ez or Ethiopic, especially, the term angels is not exclusively for celestial beings. I'll get into that more. So again, let's read this. Let's read this again. وَرَئِيُّ كِيَهُنْ مَلَائِكْت وَرَئِيُّ كِيَهُنْ مَلَائِكْت, and they saw them, and they saw and they literally what it's saying is, and they saw those females. So they're speaking directly about them seeing these women, right? وَرَئِيُّ كِيَهُنْ مَلَائِكْت, and these angels, or these chief messengers, these rulers, these princes, saw them, wulude semayat, right? The sons of heaven, right? The melaikt, they are the sons of heaven. وَفَتَوُوًا, and they desired them, they desired the women. وَيِبِيلُ, and they said, بَبَيْنَاتِهُمُ نُؤُ نِثْرَيْ لَنَا أَنِسْتَ أَمُولُودَ سَبْ, come, let us choose for ourselves, right? Women from the sons of men. وَنَلَدْ لَنَا وُلُودَ, and let us beget for ourselves sons. So the women from the sons of men, or the daughters of the sons of men, right? The daughters of the sons of men are the daughters of Ayel, the daughters of Cain. So let's continue. So the book of Enoch calls them the sons of heaven and the sons of Seth. So there's both terminologies used in the book of Enoch. They're called sons of heaven, and then they're also called the sons of Seth in another place in the book of Enoch. And the Bible calls them the sons of God. Because, why? They were the sons of Seth, of the righteous line of Adam. Right? The line of Cain was cursed because Cain murdered his brother Abel. Now, Melaikt means angels, princes, messengers of heaven, chiefs, rulers, leaders. Okay? In the Ethiopic language, the term Melaikt is not exclusive. Is not exclusively for celestial beings or from heaven sent by God. Right? Often they are described as being celestial beings, right? For example, in Jacob's ladder, when Jacob has a dream about a ladder reaching up to heaven, there are the Melaikt who are going up and down that ladder from the earth to the heaven, and they're called the Melaikt. Okay, so the celestial beings that are sent by God, the messengers sent by God, right? They are called Melaikt. However, it's not a term exclusively for celestial beings that serve the Most High Adonai. Now, these angels were the sons of Seth. These angels in the book of Enoch. In chapter 2, there are the sons of Seth. And they were living in the holy mountain in heaven. Okay? Now, literally in it says بدبر قدوس يعلو دقيقة سيتم. بدبر قدوس يعلو دقيقة سيتم. Right? Sons of Seth. In Ge'ez form, right, is دقيقة سيت. دقيقة سيت is sons of Seth in the Ge'ez form. So this is an Amharic phrase here. It's not a complete sentence, right? Now this phrase here it has the sons of Seth written in a Ge'ez form. Dakika Seit, which means sons of Seth, right? So I believe they did that to ensure that there's no mistakes. They're talking about the sons of Seth, okay? And they're also referred to as the Samai Lejoch, Samai Lejoch, the sons of heaven. They're also referred to as Tuguhan, the watchers, okay, in the book of Enoch. The Hakika means sons again, and the interpretation is sons, and Siet or Set means Seth, the son of Adam. When Abel was killed by Cain, Adonai gave Hawan or Eve another son. And Hawan, she was happy and she called his name Seth because she said, why? Because Adonai had given her or had appointed for her another son. Now, the Ethiopian book of Enoch explains that Melaikt Wulude Samayat means Badabr Qudus Yalu Dakika Satan, or the sons of Seth who lived in the holy mountain. Okay. Now again, the word angels is generally used to describe all celestial beings. However, there are specific orders of celestial beings of Adonai. The first order, right, is in the city of Eor. And so you have the Agaizit, Kirubel, the Surafel, and Hailat. Now, and I forgot one here, Sultanat, right? The Sultanat. So you have Agaizit, you have the Kirubel, the Surafel, Sultanat, and Hailat. Right? So this one should be here. So this is the first order, right, of the angels in the city of Eor. Then you have beneath them the city of Rama. Okay. The second order, you have the Arbab, the Menabrt, and then Sultanat. Oh, my mistake. So Sultanat is here, not here. So Sultanat is here. I don't know why this one is here. That's an error. Right, so the second order, the city of Rama, Arbab, Menabert, Sultanat. Then the third order, right, the city of Erer. You have the Mekwanent, the Likanat, and then you have the Melaikt. So the Melaikt are the lowest order of angels and are closest to humans. 4 other cities or heavens exist above these 3 cities, which make up the 7 heavens created by Adonai. Now, I'm not going to go into all seven of these heavens, right? Because we're in the book of Enoch here. I'm just giving a short exegesis, so just for understanding of the Melaikt, the angels, to understand that these angels were really the sons of Seth. Yeah, just quickly, I'll go over the first four heavens above the three the three cities of angels I just gave. So the highest heaven, or the Semayat, the heaven of heavens, that's the Sirha Aryam. And then beneath the Sirha Aryam, you have Menbere Mengist. And then you have the Semai Wudud. And then the fourth is Jerusalem Semayawit. Jerusalem Semayawit. And after Jerusalem Semayawit, then you have the first order, the city of Eor, where you have the first order of angels, right? That's their city. The Agaizit, the Kirubel, the Surafil, and the Hailat. And then the second order, the Arbab, Menabirt, Sultanat, third order, Mekwanint, Likanat, Melaikt. All right, so that's another video. When I'll go into angelology in another video. If you'd like to see a video where I go deeper into angelology, leave a comment in the in the comment section below and let me know. Now, okay, so the term melaikt, again, the term melaikt in Ethiopic also means rulers, kings, chief leaders, and angels. Melaikt is the pluralized form of melak. Okay? Now, man was created in the image of Adonai, in the image of Selassie, right? In the image of Selassie, right? The Trinity, the Godhead, in the image of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, right? Because when Adonai, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, Adonai says, "Nu so b'melkachin na b'mesaliachin in nifter." Right? Let us create man. Come, let us make man in our image. So we know that in Genesis 1, verse 26, Adonai says, "Nu, come, let us." All right? So b'melkachin na b'mesaliachin in nifter. Let us make man in our form and our likeness, right? In our likeness and image. Let us make man, right? Selassie, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Ab, Weld, ومنفس قدوس باسم Ab, وولد ومنفس قدوس أحد أملاك. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. Now, one example of man living according to the natural law, right, isn't as intended by God, is Enoch, who lived 365 years, right? Because man was made in the image of Adonai, right? So in the book of Enoch, Enoch states in one place that man was not created to make testament of his faith with pen and paper. Man was created to live continually in righteousness, right? The Hige Libuna, according to the Hige Libuna, according to the law of the heart, the law of the intellect, right? The natural law. So Hige Libuna, right? This is the natural law as intended by God. So one example of this, because man was made in the image of God, but man fell, right? When Adam and Hawan, when they were deceived by the deceiver and the opposer of man, the deceiver, the opposer, the Shaitan, right? And Hawan took the fruit, and then she gave it to her husband who was with her, Adam, right? And he did eat. So man fell. However, we see in the seventh generation, we see Enoch come along, and it says in Genesis 5 verse 24 that Enoch was taken by Adonai. He didn't taste death, right? How did Enoch not taste death if he man had already fallen, right? So Jesus Christos had not yet come. So how is it that Enoch didn't taste death, right? So let's move on. Now in the Genesis chapter 5 verse 24, Orit Zeladet, Mi'raf Amist, Mi'raf Mi'raf Amistu, right? خلقوا إسرا وأربعته, right? Genesis chapter 5 verse 24. وأثمروا هينوك لإግዚአብሔር وفلس اسم እግዚአብሔር كبته واستجنت وأثمروا هينوك لإግዚአብሔር وفلس اسم እግዚአብሔር كبته واستجنت. Right, so I have the verse written twice here. So that's a mistake here. Anyways, I have the verse written twice. Anyways, so it says, and Enoch pleased እግዚአብሔር, and Enoch pleased Adonai እግዚአብሔር, and he was translated. Right, he ascended. Translated meaning he ascended. Felese, he migrated. Right, he took on a new form. Okay, he took on a new form. Right, because Adonai hid him inside the paradise. This is what the original. This is closer to what the original Ethiopic text has written. Okay, this is not the KJV. So this is a more literal translation. And Enoch pleased እግዚአብሔር, and he was translated. He was uprooted. He ascended. He ascended. He took on a new form. He migrated. Okay, he migrated. He ascended. He migrated. Falasa, right? Because Adonai hid him inside the Genet, inside the paradise, right? So Enoch pleased Adonai. He pleased እግዚአብሔር. So he walked. It says in the scriptures. It says he walked with Adonai. Okay, وَأَسْمَرُوا Enoch لإግዚአብሔር, and Enoch pleased እግዚአብሔር. Right, he went according to the. In the Hebrew they say the halakha. He went according to his way. Right, he went according to the way that pleased እግዚአብሔር. So let's move on, right, to the next verse in the book of Enoch. So that was a short exegesis on the Melaikt, right, the sons of God, the sons of heaven, the sons of Seth, right. So men, those sons of Seth, they had taken a oath of celibacy. That's right. So they were living like the monks, right? They were living like the monks. Um, they were they. That's why they weren't meant to have any wives, any women. They were not meant to marry. Okay, so they were like the angels. They were living like the angels. So they called the Melaikt, because they live like the angels, right? And even in Jesus Christos tells us that he through him he will give us the authority to be called sons of God. Exabier, the George, children of Exabier. He'll give us the authority to be called the children of God, the children of Adonai, the children of His Father. Okay, so through Jesus Christos, he gives us the authority through Him to be the children of Adonai and return to our true nature, the natural law, through Him, right? Only through Him. There's no other way except through Him. So the sons of Seth were living in the holy mountain, and they were living a life like an ascetic, like a hermit, an ascetic life, right? So they were not living like normal men. They weren't living a normal life like men. Even if you were to see an ascetic now in these times in the deserts of Egypt or in Ethiopia, right? They don't live like regular people. They live they live in a way that would be uncomfortable for a normal human, right? Another human may not even be able to bear the way that they are living. Okay, so they're like angels. The sons of Seth were like angels. They were melaikt. So we see Enoch now here. Enoch was living a perfect life. Enoch did not make. Enoch married. Enoch married, and his wife's name was Edna. So Enoch married, and his wife's name was Edna, and Enoch. So, but however, Enoch was not did not take the oath of celibacy. He wasn't living that kind of life as the sons of Seth, right? Because remember, Christ even said that it is not for every man to take this kind of oath, because some are born this way, right? From birth, they are celibate from birth. From they are what they call them, eunuchs. They're eunuchs from birth, right? And it's not for everyone. It's just for who can bear it. It is for so it's not something that is like to say, um, if you don't live like a celibate monk, then you cannot enter the kingdom of God, or you cannot be holy. That's not what it means. It's just that they had their order. That was their order. And then they went and broke their order. Okay? That was the problem. Now, Enoch was married. He had a wife named Edna, right? Enoch also had a son, right? That he passed on his knowledge to. His son, Methuselah. Enoch had a son named Methuselah. So we know Enoch was married. Enoch took a wife. Now let's take a step back to Genesis chapter 4 verse 26. أريد زالدت مئرف أربعة ولك إسرا وسدستو وولد سيت عادي ولد وسميو هينوس عمها وتنا كما يتسو سماء إكزيابير. Seth also begat a son, and he named him Henos. At that time, he began to call on the name of Exeab. Now, interestingly, in the King James Version, it says, "At that time, men began to call on the name of the Lord." Now, in the Ethiopic here, it says, "At that time, he began to call on the name of Ixiab here," or "at that time, he began to call on the name of Ixiab here." Right? Ameha وَتَنَا كَمَا يَتْسَوِّ سَمَاء إِكْزِيَابْ here. Right? So you see the evidence here in Genesis chapter 4, verse 26, that a specific event took place around the time of Henos, when after Henos was born. You're right? So something happened here with Seth, the son of Adam, and Henos, the son of Seth. Because when Henos was born, when Seth gave birth to his son Henos, it says, "At that time he began to call on the name of Ixiab here, on the name of Adonai." So, and then we go to chapter 5, and it is in chapter 5 where it goes into the genealogy of Adam and tells you about Enoch and how Enoch did not die, how the Enoch was translated because Adonai hid him inside the paradise. He migrated, ascended, because Adonai hid him inside the paradise. Enoch pleased Ixiab here. Right? And then in chapter 6 of Genesis, then you see it goes on to saying the sons of God, right? Saw the daughters of men. So in those days, the ones who were calling on the name of Adonai, calling on the name of um, the Most High, were the sons of Seth, right? So, Genesis chapter 4, verse 26 is kind of an anchor point, you could say, showing that was where there was an order here where they began to call on the name of Adonai. And if you know in the in the in the Hebrew, they have the term kahal, which means to call out, right? Um, which is also, I'm not I don't remember if it's the word for church or the word for synagogue. The term used for synagogue or church in Hebrew, but what they did was they would call out. Okay, so what we're seeing here is the worship of Adonai. The calling on the name of Adonai, on the name of Ixiab here in the time of Seth, right? The time of Seth. So the sons of Seth are the ones who are in the holy mountain, and it seems that some of these sons were eunuchs. Because if you, by the way, just to be clear, we see in Matthew chapter 19, verse 10, um, when Christ is teaching and about marriage, and they ask him about marriage and divorce, and after Christ gives them uh, his reply to their question, his disciples say unto him, وَيَبْيَلْوُ أَرْدَائِهُ وَيَبْيَلْوُ أَرْدَائِهُ وَيَبْيَلْوُ أَرْدَائِهُ. مسك مزوت وسرعت بإسي وبإسيت أقوسناي أو سبو. And his disciples said unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. It is not good to marry. Kind of like they were saying, if this is how it is, it's not good to marry. Okay. ويبيلو أردائه مسك مزوت سرعت بأسي وبأسيت أكو سناي أو سبو. His disciples said unto him, or his disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. ويبيلومو أكو لكلو زي تكهل زنتو زين بلد عمو لزتوهبو. But Christ said unto them, right? So Jesus responded to them. All men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. By the way, in these three texts from Matthew, I'm using the KJV, right? The way you be alomu, and he said to them, "Akola kuruze tekehal zintu." Right? All will not be able to do this. Right? All will not be able to have, all are not able to do this. They cannot. All cannot bear this. They cannot do this. Except for those to whom it has been given. Right? اسم بو هتسوان إليك ما هو تولدو. اسم بو هتسوان إليك ما هو تولدو إم كرسة أمومو. وبو هتسوان إلي هتسوومو سبع. وبو هتسوان إلي هتسوو رئيسومو بأنت من جست السمايات. وذا سيكل تعاقسو. وذا سيكل تعاقسو ليتعاقس. وذا سيكل تعاقسو ليتعاقس. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. Right? So Jesus is making it clear that his disciples are saying, it is not good to marry. Right? Christ is saying, not everyone can do this. So he's not agreeing with them. Christ is not agreeing with them. He's letting them know all men cannot receive this. Only those to whom it has been given. Right? So it's a specific order given. Right? It's not for everyone. Okay? And then he goes further to say, some are eunuchs from within their mother's womb. They're born eunuchs from their mother's womb. And there are some who are made eunuchs of men. Right? Or men made them eunuchs, right? And there are eunuchs which have been made eunuchs for the kingdom. They made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. So Christ is being clear. Jesus Christos, right? He's being clear that he who is able to receive it, let him receive it. Right? He that is able to receive it, not everyone. He that is able to receive it. He who is able to bear it, who is able to, to bear it. He who is able to be patient and to bear it. Let him bear it. All right. Literally, like he who is able to bear it, let him bear it. It's not even saying like receive here. It's saying he who is able to bear it, right? Who can bear it, let them bear it. So it's not for everyone. So let's continue, right? Let's continue. ويبيلومو سميازا زوئتو ملاكومو افرا يوغي يتفكرو يتجبر زنتو جبر وكون أنا بهتيتيا فداييها لذاتها تياتاواي. And Simyaza, their chief, said to them, I fear that maybe you all will not desire to do this act, and it will be I alone, paying for this great sin. So Simyaza, their chief, their leader, says to them, I fear that maybe you all will not desire to do this. وَيَبْيَلُومُ سِمْيَازَ زَوْئِتُ مَلَاكُمُ وَيَبْيَلُومُ سِمْيَازَ زَوْئِتُ مَلَاكُمُ. And you see here again, it's saying that Simyaza is their melak. Simyaza is their melak. Okay, so it wouldn't make sense to say that Simyaza is their angel, right? Because they are all angels, right? They're all melaikt. They're all melaikt. So how could Simyaza now be their malak, the malak of all the malaikt, the angel of all the angels? Mm, it's almost like saying angel of the angels. Um, it's you see. So it's not really. It doesn't really make sense when you say it like that, angel of the angels. But if you would say he is the ruler of the angels, he is their ruler, right? Melakomu, he is their ruler, he is their chief. Now it makes sense, right? وَيَبْيَلُومُ سِمْيَازَ زَوْئِتُ مَلَاكُمُ. And Simyaza, their chief, said to them, أفر يوغي يتفكروا يتجبر زنتو جبر وأكون أنا بهتيتيا فداييها لذاتها تيات أعباي. And Simyaza, their chief, said to them, I fear that maybe you all will not desire to do this act, and it will be I alone paying for this great sin. وأوسو لوتو كلومو ويبيلو مهالا نمهال كلنا ونتواجز ببيناتنا كما إين ميت على ذاتي مكر ونجبر على ذاتي مكر جبره. And they all answered him, and they said, let us all swear an oath, and let us curse each of ourselves, so that we do not turn back from this plan, and we carry out this plan of action. Meha mehalu kulomu hubura wa awgezu kulomu bebeinatihomu botu wa kwonu kulomu kilatu me'it. Meha mehalu kulomu hubura wa awgezu kulomu bebeinatihomu botu wa kwonu kulomu kilatu me'it. Then they all took an oath together, and they all cursed each other to be bound by the plan, and they were 200 in number. Meha mehalu kulomu hubura wa awgezu kulomu bebeinatihomu botu wa kwonu kulomu kilatu me'it. Then they all took an oath together, and they all cursed each other to be bound by the plan, and they were 200 in number. ووردوا وسط أرديس وأتوا دماه لدبر أرمون وتسوئوا لدبر أرمون اسم محالو بوتوا وأوجزوا ببيناتهم. And they went down into Ardis, which is the head of Mount Armon, and they called the mountain Armon because they swore on it, and they cursed each other. وزنت أسماتهم لملائكتهم سميازا زوتوا ملاكم أوراكيبراميل آكيبئل تاميئل راموئل دانيئل إزيكيل سراكويال آسائل Armris, Betreal, Anani, Zekebe, Semsaweel, Sirteel, Tur'el, Yomyael, Araziel. And these are the names of their rulers: Semyaza, who is their chief, Urakiberameel, Akibel, Tamiel, Ramuel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Serakuyal, Asael, Amris, Betrael, Anani, Zekebe, Semsaweel, Serteel, Turel, Yomyael, Araziel. Lu muntu habitomu لكلته مئة ملائكة وبعدان كلو مثلهم. These are the leaders of the 200 sons of Seth, the princes, and all the others with them. And these are the leaders of the 200 princes and all the others with them. Or these are the leaders of the 200 rulers and all the others with them. والناس لومو أنستيا وهريا كلو للرئيسو أهات ووتنو يباو هابيهون وتدمروا مثلهن ومهارون سرايات والسباتات ومتيرة سرو وإتسو أمرون. And they took for themselves women, and each of them chose for himself one by one in order to marry them, and they became one with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. ومندوسة سنسا وولدا رأيتا بيتا وقومومو بسلاسة مئة بأمت. And they conceived and gave birth to great giants, and they stood 3,000 cubits in height. Elu belu kulos amaseb isme sinuomu seisiota seb. And those giants consumed all that men toiled for until mankind could no longer sustain them. وتميتوا رأيت ليلهم يبلوهم لسب. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. Elu belu kulos ama seb eskes inuomu sesiota seb. And those giants consumed all that men toiled for until mankind could no longer sustain them. وتميتوا رأيت ليلهم يبلوهم لسب. And they turned against them, the giants turned against them, and they devoured mankind. ووتنوا يابسوا بأعواف وبديب أراويت وبزيت حوس وبعسات وسقاهم ببيناتهم يتبالوا ودم يستيو منها. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Ameha mid sekayatomu le'amatsiana. Then the earth laid accusation against the rebellious ones. وأزازيل مهاروم لسبع جبير أسيفت ومتبهت وولتا والدرة انجدا وأرأيوم زئم دهرهم ومقبارهم أو كافات وسرج وتكهلوت وأسنيو كرانبت وابن أمكلو ابن كبورة وهرية وكلو تمعتات هبر وتولات عالم. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth, and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. وكون رسعات أبي وبزو زموه وكون رسعات أبي وبزو زموه. And there was great forgetting of the law, and they committed much fornication. وسهتوا وما سنا كلوا فناويهم. And they went astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Amizarak mehare kulo mesabiane ومتاريان سروات. Amezarak taught how to extract. Amezarak taught how to attract demons and cuttings of roots. Armaros fetha sibatate. Armaros taught annulment of conjurations. وبركال رأيان كواكب. وبركال رأيان كواكب. وبركال رأيان كواكب. And Barakal taught counting of the stars. وكوكبيل تأمرتاته. And Kokabel portrayal of symbols. وتمئيل مهار رأي وتمئيل مهار رأي كوكب. وتمئيل مهار رأي كوكب. تمل, the counting of stars, revision of stars. The counting of stars. Asradel mehare rutsete, where Asradel taught the running paths of the moon, or the orbit of the moon. وبهجولات سب سره وبسحة كعلوم سماية. And mankind cried because of the havoc, and their words reached heaven. وأميها حاوسوا ميكائيل وجبرائيل وسوريان وأوريان إم سماي ورئيو بزوها دم زيت كأو بديبة مد وكلو أمتع زيت جابر بديبة مد. At that time, Michael and Gabriel and Surian and Urian looked from heaven, and they saw much blood being poured on the earth, and all rebellion that was being done on the earth. ويبيلوا ببيناتهم كعلى صراحاتهم إراقا صرحات مد إسكا أن كأس سماي. And they said to each other the word of their cries, and the earth cried until her cry reached the gates of heaven. وَيِأْذَنِي لَكُمُ أَوْ قُدُسَانَ سَمَاي يَسَكِيُّ نَفْسَاتَ السَّبْ إِنْزَيْبْلُ أَبُؤُ لَنَا فِتْهَا هَابَ الْأُولِ. And now the souls of men bring accusations to all of you, holy ones of heaven, saying, bring our case unto the Most High. And now the souls of men bring accusations to all of you, O holy ones of heaven, saying, bring our case unto the Most High. ويبيلوا لإجزيهم لنجوس السماء إجزيهم لأجائز وأملاكهم لأمالكت ونجوسهم لنجست ومن بر سبحتيك وسط كلو تولد علم وسمك قدوس وسبو وسط كلو تولد علم وبروك وسبوح أنت. And they said to their lord, to the king, You are ruler of the Agaizit, and God of gods, and King of kings, and the throne of your praise is in every generation of the world. And your name is holy, honored, and praised for all generations, and you are honored and praised. جبرك كلو والسلطان كلو مثلك جبرك كلو والسلطان كلو مثلك وكلو كسود كرميك والجهود. You created everything, and all authority is with you, and all is revealed openly before you. وأنت تري كلو والبوز يتكهل يتهابا إمنيك. And you see everything, and there's nothing that is able to be hidden from you. رئيك زجبر أزازيل زكما مهار كلو أمسا بدي بمد وأجهاد هبوات عالم إلا يتجبر بسمايات. See that which Azazel has done, as he taught everything corrupt on the earth, and he revealed the hidden mysteries of the world, those they are doing in the heaven. وأمر سبعتات سميازة زأنت وهابكو سلطان يكون لا مثله هبورة. وأمر سبعتات سميازة زأنت وهابكو سلطان يكون لا مثله هبورة. And Simyaza made known conjuration, who you gave authority to rule those united with him. وأمر سبعتات سميازة زأنت وهابكو سلطان يكون لا مثله هبورة. And Simyaza made known conjuration, who you gave authority to rule those united with him. وهوروا بأوالد سب هبورة وسكبوا مثلهن مثل ألكو أنست وركسوا وأجهدوا لون إلونت هتعوى. And they went unto the daughters of mankind, the daughters of Cain, and they laid with them, with those women, and defiled and revealed those women to those women these sins. وأنستس ولدا رأيت وبز ملعت كل مد دم وعمتها. وأنستس ولدا رأيت وبز ملعت كل مد دم وعمتها. And as for those women, they bore giants, and because of this, blood and rebellion filled all the earth. ويئذني ناهو يسره نفسات إلا موتو ويسكيو إسكا عن كأسا سماي وأرجع جعرومو وإيكلو وسع وإيكلو وسع إمكلمة جسا متع زي تجبر بدي بمد. And now behold, the souls of those who died cried, and brought accusation until it reached the gates of heaven, and their cry went up, and they were not able to ascend before the face of rebellion that was done on the earth. وَيِئْذَنِّي نَاهُ يَسْأَرُهُ نَفْسَاتْ إِلَى مُوتُوا. وَيِئْذَنِّي نَاهُ يَسْأَرُهُ نَفْسَاتْ إِلَى مُوتُوا. ويساكيو إسكا عن كأسا سماي وعرجة جعرومو وإيكلو بسيا المكرمة جسا آمسا زي تجبر بدي بمد. And now, behold, the souls of those who died cried and brought accusation until it reached the gates of heaven, and their cry went up, and they were not able to ascend before the face of rebellion that was done on earth, or they were not able to be saved because of the violence that was done on the earth. وَيِئْذَنِي نَاهُ ይጸርሁ ነፍሳት ለሞቱ ወይሰኪዩ እስከ አንቀጸ ሰማይ ወዐርገ ገአሮሙ ወኢይክሉ ወፂያ እምቅድመ ገጸ አመፃ ዘይትገበር በዲበ ምድር. And now behold, the souls of those who died cried and brought accusation until it reached the gates of heaven, and their cry went up, and they were not able to ascend before the face of rebellion that was done on earth. وأنت تعامل كل زنبلة يكون, and you know everything before it happens. وأنت تعامل زنت وززيهم وعلبو ذات نجران ومنت مفتو نرسيوم بأنت زنتو. And you know this and that which is theirs, and you have not said anything to us, and what solution we shall make for them because of this.